Hello there, Assassins, and welcome to episode 24 of Rally the Creed Live. This is the first episode of 2026. We are an Assassin's Creed community podcast focusing on content creators within the community. We cover news and everything about the franchise. And I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who supported the show for its third relaunch in 2025. We massively appreciate it. It's been absolutely fantastic. So today I am joined by a content creator who has become a recognizable and respected voice in the Assassin's Creed community. For a very long time, he is a content creator, analyst, and one of the hosts for the Beneath the Hood podcast, which is on YouTube. So please welcome ACJohnny, everybody.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for having me. This is so exciting. I've been really looking forward to this. Thank you. You really hyped me up in the intro there. Respected is a word. I get a lot of backlash, I suppose you could say, about my takes and for people who don't know, I make a lot of just kind of most of my content is like commentary based. I kind of go live and people say, have takes or ask me questions or whatever, and I have my opinions about these games. I've played them all for so long, and people seem to dislike my opinions strongly, but I'm not changing them for anybody. It's not rage bait. It is really what I think. So, James, thank you so much for having me on, man. I'm so excited.
I want to say thank you for coming on the show. Firstly, I want to say that when we reached out to you about being a guest, we reached out originally earlier on in the year and we didn't hear anything back from you, and we were like, oh, potentially maybe not just yet, and we'll keep going. And then you followed me on TikTok and then sent through that you'd love to do it. I was like, oh my god, is this real? Is he being serious right now? Yeah, and for the longest time I've been having a chat with everybody in our Discord, and like, I really hope that this is the real ACJohnny, because I want to say this: when I first started doing Assassin's Creed content, you're one of the first content creators I came across that I followed, and all the stuff that you talk about for Assassin's Creed is fantastic. And I love the fact that you don't back down from your opinion and how you see things. So I just want to say a massive thank you for being here this week, and I couldn't have started the year off better than having you as our guest. So I really do appreciate it.
Oh man, thank you so much. No, thank you. I've really been looking forward to it, and I it must have just gotten lost in my DMs and the original invite there, because I would always be down for stuff like this. I love stuff like this. I jump at the chance to talk about this stuff. I mean, people know I can yap about this stuff for hours. So, but what were you hoping to pick my brain about today, James? Do you have any?
Well, so first off, we've got many things to discuss, but we're going to talk about. So we're going to look back at what Assassin's Creed achieved in 2025. I wanted to talk to you about Beneath the Hood.
Okay.
Nice. I want to talk about your journey with the franchise and what we've both achieved during 2025 and what our goals are for the year coming. But before we do all that, I just wanted to check how you are, how you've been, and did you have a good Christmas?
Oh, thank you. Yes. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm chilling here. I live in America, obviously. I live in Boston, so I'm on the East Coast there. And yeah, I saw a lot of family for Christmas. You know, the holidays are always super duper busy, but it was really nice. Busy though, very, very busy.
Yeah.
I'm actually a huge fan of like this time of year, like right now, like January, February, everything's really quiet. I can kind of just like put my head down, play my games, and make my stuff, and it's kind of where I like to operate in this quieter time. No, I mean, I had a great Christmas though. Everything was really good. How about you? How was your holiday season?
So we had my full-time job, I'm a chef. So just
cool.
Before the holiday period, I have a break, and I've had about 2 weeks off. So I've had a lot of content and stuff that I can get done in this time period.
Nice.
So it's been quite good for me. Spent time with the kids, family, friends, it's been actually really nice and really really fantastic. So yeah, and I go back to work tomorrow, so that's
Yeah,
yeah.
bummer. Oh, that's awesome. A chef. What kind of chef, James? I'm interested.
So I've done loads of things. I've worked in pubs, I've worked in restaurants. I'm currently working at a training facility for like HMRC and um, Jaguar Land Rover all come and do their training at our building.
Cool.
So basically, I
Wow.
just feed them. So it's like 400 people daily. But January, February is a bit quieter. But yeah, so
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. Congratulations. That
and then
sounds
I decide
like a
to
good gig.
take on content creation in my spare time. So I like
Yeah.
to punish myself a lot.
Oh, believe me, I know that grind. I don't really make money from this stuff or anything. I just do it for the love of the
Yeah.
game. But yeah, I'm working the 9 to 5. I go back tomorrow as well, dreading it. But oh well, it's all part of it. But yeah, man, after work, you come home, you gotta pump out some videos and stuff. I love it, but it can certainly be a grind, especially finding time. As you mentioned, I have the podcast with Bubba
Yeah.
Beneath the Hood, and he's so busy. Like he's got a bunch of kids, and figuring out the right time to get it all together is it's tricky. I mean, I don't have any kids or anything. I'm not married, but I have a girlfriend. She lives in Florida, and we're gonna be seeing each other soon. But yeah, for now it's literally just me and I'm chilling. So
Oh,
it's
no.
definitely not as bad as trying to fit in time to make content isn't terribly stressful right now. But figuring around work and stuff like that is always a
So
challenge.
one of the first things I wanted to talk to you about was your TikTok and YouTube journey. So the
Mm.
creation of your channel, the podcast, any successes you've had, and your relationship with Ubisoft and the AC brand. How did that all come about? What started
Oh
this?
man. I could this is the stuff I can talk about forever. Like the actual content side of things, I can talk about AC forever, and I could this side of things I do enjoy talking about. So, um, let's see, back in college or university, I suppose, I I just streamed Fortnite from like my PS4 on Twitch for like three guys, the same three guys every day, and I would post stuff on TikTok, trying to get my clips out there and stuff like that. And it was for fun or whatever, and it was very casual. It was whenever I wanted to do it. So I did that, and then I've been a fan of Assassin's Creed for so long, and especially Valhalla. At this point, it was probably 2023. Yeah, and I was playing Valhalla and I was like, oh, let me just show this game off. It wasn't anything like that cool. It wasn't the most like well cut or well edited or well done gameplay, but I just love the game, so I just wanted to put it out there. And I put a clip out there. I got like 400 views, and I was like, this is pretty fun. Um, and so I just started kind of posting stuff, and um, yeah, it started to. I found my way in this TikTok like AC community. I really, really, there's a few guys initially who, I'm sure Dallas.
Yeah,
I know, and Dallas back then, I think he had like 5,000 followers on TikTok. But I used to love the stuff he would make. And then there was a few other guys. Memento Gallery, of course, I was a big fan of. There was this one guy, Duck, who was this like editor, so he'd make these Assassin's Creed edits. Anyway, I was so obsessed with these accounts, I was like, oh, let me just let me just try and just throw some stuff out there. And um, yeah, it started to kind of work well. But what I had learned from my Fortnite days of just posting on TikTok is if you want to get big on TikTok, what I found is consistency is key above like everything else. I knew back then I streamed pretty hard Fortnite for like a month, and I posted a clip every single day, and they started getting 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 views every day, and I was like, "Oh, it's more so just a function of how much you put out, not
yeah.
necessarily like quantity over quality, but certainly showing up is the most important." And so I took that over to the AC side of things, and it seemed to really start to catch on after a while. So, um, yeah, it's a grind, but it is a grind I absolutely live for. I love doing it. I love streaming it. I love posting these clips and stuff. So yeah, yeah. Thank you for following along, I suppose. I see you're always in my comments and stuff, and I really appreciate it. Um, so yeah, it's a blast. And I'm not stopping anytime soon. It's just full steam ahead right now. So expect more from me.
That's good to hear. Yeah, I when I so I first when I started doing content, I did Call of Duty, Fortnite, that sort of stuff.
Yep.
Realized that it was consistently posting every day, wasn't really doing much, and then I took a break. And one day I was just playing. I think I got that Shadows was coming out, and I was like, "Oh, I really like Assassin's Creed. I'll just try this.
Yeah.
I'll see what this does." And it's been the craziest 6 months of my entire life. It's been massive. I've got to talk to so many people and meet so many people through Assassin's Creed that I couldn't think about changing it to anything else now. It's just fantastic.
It is.
There's you. I've spoken to Dallas a couple of times. The Hidden One, Hangry Higgs, all these, they're just such great people to be around.
Great people. So, yeah.
I wanted to ask how Beneath the Hood got started with Bubba. How did that? Because I watched an episode the other day. We were talking about, you were showing off your lightsaber that you got from your brother.
Yeah.
I think that was the most recent episode.
It's right there. Yes, it's been oh god, Beneath the Hood has been a blast. But talk about for the love of the game. We just do that for us, really, and whoever watches it on YouTube, great. But it's hard to schedule. Obviously, we have our uploads haven't been very consistent or anything like that. But anyway, how we got started with it was, this was a year ago. Last December, I came to Bubba, and I had known Bubba for a long time because Bubba was a big reason of why I started streaming on TikTok. I started posting clips, and then I would see Bubba would be streaming Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I was in there every night, and I just loved watching him. I mean, I could sit there and I wasn't chatting or much like that. It was more so just like watching him play the game, and I was like, oh wait, I could do this. And so through that, Bubba and I became a lot closer, and we were texting and stuff. And I asked him, I was like, how would you be interested in doing an Assassin's Creed podcast? And he was like, I'm in. So yeah, like I said, it's been so much fun. I love it. I love talking to that guy. He is truly like one of my favorite people to just yap with. So that relationship that I have with him through this podcast has been easily my favorite part. I throw them on YouTube and they do whatever. I don't really look back at them. Sometimes I respond to comments, whatever. It is more so just an excuse for me to yap and talk about this stuff with him, because he's so knowledgeable about lore in this series and things like that. But he and I were both just nerds about everything Star Wars, Marvel, all of it. We just talk forever and ever and ever. But that was one of my favorite parts of last year in terms of the content side of things, for sure. We are getting back to doing it much more consistently this year. So we just filmed an episode just last night. And we have made the commitment to do every 2 weeks. We're going to show up all year. We're going to be there. We want it to be a real thing because we love it and it's so much fun to do. So, yeah, Beneath the Hood it's been my baby. It was kind of, I came to him with the idea. It's why it's on my channel, essentially, is he's so much busier. He's got like a whole real actual life. So he just said like, hey man, I'm so in, let's do it. You might have to kind of do the editing and the posting and all that. And I was like, yeah, great, I'm in. So yeah, that's been an absolute blast.
Yeah, doing podcasts has been great. Like, I don't know if you've have guests on or anything, but this is like as I said earlier in the intro, this is the third iteration of Rally of the Creed.
Yeah.
So this time we went to the live format for TikTok, and we've had so many great guests on. And everybody has been so knowledgeable and so interested in just talking all day about Assassin's Creed. It's been fantastic. Like, we've had Rick Bower on, and I think at one point I had to look at the time because I was like, well, we're going to have to end this soon.
Yeah.
but everyone loves talking about it. It's been fantastic. So I'm glad that you're going to be doing more episodes and stuff. That's something I'll be looking forward to.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, I this Rally the Creed is such a what a great way to like bring the community together because like I was saying, it is such a great community, as you were saying as well earlier. Just these people, especially on TikTok, from what I can speak on. I don't know the AC YouTube community so well, but I know the AC community on TikTok pretty through and through. And yeah, there's some really good people and fun people. So the more we get together and
There,
yap, the better, I say.
yeah, there are on. So I've just branched out to YouTube, so I don't know it too well. But
Right.
on TikTok, everyone that I've had in my lives or my comments has been fantastic.
Yeah.
I have noticed that there has been like supposed beefs over the last couple of days with creators just for the sake of it, and it's like just these are people's opinions. It's not that, and obviously you have an opinion about Valhalla, which is great. It's one of the questions I have for you actually. I have an opinion on Black Flag, and it's at the end of the day, we play these games. We Everybody can have an opinion about a game, so it doesn't really
Absolutely.
matter too much.
Absolutely.
But talking about that, what is it about Valhalla that um, makes it your favorite Assassin's Creed game?
Um,
Because for me, like I've seen you before. It does have great lore. For me, I just feel like it's really long and really, at times, very tedious. But
yeah.
I want to hear from you that loves it so much that I just want to pick your brain on it.
Well, I think so I always say when somebody asks like where should I start in the series, what's your favorite, all this stuff. I mean the main reason I play these games is for their worlds and the history of
Yes.
these worlds and I'm a huge history buff. I feel like you have to be a fan of the
Oh,
series.
definitely. I
Um
agree.
yeah, so that like medieval England and the Viking invasion of England and stuff, it's like absolutely A1, one of my favorite time periods. And I think they made it beautifully. And I love like Norse mythology and Viking culture. I'm fascinated by it. So tedious and long, all true. No lies were told there. However, I just happen to like it. So like for me, the longer the better. I think I get why people don't like the arcs, right? Obviously each there's like 14, 15
Yeah.
big giant story arcs that are all like 3 or 4 hours long. And I totally understand why people don't like that. But for me, who just I'm obsessed with this time period and this world, the more the better. So I come through and you go to East Anglia and you do that arc and you meet this whole new bunch of characters and you play through it for like 3 or 4 hours and then you
Yeah.
put a bow on that story and you go to the new one. And I love that. I think I would like it if they kind of streamlined the main story more. If they made it a little more linear and made the arcs like actual side content, I think that would, not really for my sake, but for other people's sake, I think that would help people digest the game a little bit more. It was definitely long and it was definitely big, but I think after playing Origins and Odyssey, it felt so different, and it was like the perfect version of that game that they were trying to build. I think Origins and Odyssey are very similar in their like RPG mechanics. Odyssey
Yeah.
obviously goes a lot harder with the gear and the builds you can do and things like that, but all I remember is like you kill the captain at this camp, you burn the war supplies, right? You do that 100,000 times. And Valhalla just took a different take on this like open world RPG thing. I think the gear's fantastic. I think the upgrading system is fantastic. Um, yeah, man, I think, and then even more so, I mean, I love Eivor. I think Eivor's character is fascinating. I think it gets really forgotten about just how deep of a character it is and how you see this like moral ambiguity, which like you see the fight within her mind about, oh, Odin wants to come out and like be ruthless and all this stuff. And you have Eivor prevail, which then you go to Mirage and you see the same side of that coin, or sorry, the other side of that coin
Yeah.
of Basim, who doesn't prevail and he doesn't come out on top, and Loki takes over. So it's a nice duality of that kind of like sage. um thing going on in their head, and yeah, they're just such a deep character, and the lore is deep, and yeah, man, that game can do no wrong for me. I don't care that I'd love to hear your opinion on this because I don't care that she's not an assassin. I literally couldn't care any less. We've had 14
Me
games or
neither.
something with all
Me
assassins.
neither.
So yeah, I understand why people don't like it, but yeah, those don't really apply to me. So,
So for me, because I knew I've I've played through it before,
mhm.
and I am on my second playthrough for it, and I'm about 58 hours in as male Eivor, but for a video for YouTube I've just done, I wanted the female Eivor, so I started from the beginning
Yep.
and I played through the first like 3 hours, and I I don't hate her as the main character. As male Eivor, it plays really differently, and it feels more like a Viking game if you play as male Eivor, for me
Yeah.
anyway. But as female Eivor, it feels like there's a whole nother perspective for the game, and I do. So I have Valhalla as my least favorite, only because of how long it is. But
Yep.
I don't know, a female Eivor, I might have to play through it again and just see how far I can get through it, because I think she's voiced a lot better as well, and her entire character arc so far has been better, I feel. So I might give it a go again.
Yeah, it's certainly different, and I made a TikTok about this recently, just comparing the two. I think the thing that hits the biggest for me was when you do the Odin sequences, right? When you go to Asgard, and it's
Yeah,
like when you're playing as male Eivor through the game, it looks like you're just male Eivor, and he's just going about his day in Asgard.
yeah,
And when you do a female Eivor playthrough, you go and you play as Odin now. And it's such a nice duality where you can actually, that's where it's easier to draw the comparisons between everybody in like the Norse mythology world and what's actually happening in Ravensthorpe with Sigurd and all that,
yeah,
and Loki and who's coming around and who's not. And those parallels do so much better when you do a female Eivor playthrough. So I it's hard for me to say I wished that they just like made it female. Like it's hard for me to come
yeah,
out and say that because I actually prefer male Avor's voice acting and his like softness, and he I don't know if you've seen the show Vikings, but it
yeah.
was clearly heavily inspired
Oh,
by
definitely, yeah,
Ragnar, right? Like the whole way that he's kind of soft in the way he
yeah,
talks, and he's funny, and he's got some charisma to him that's very very similar to how what's his name, Trevor something or other plays
yeah,
Ragnar, and I think that's intentional, and I just happen to prefer it. But in terms of the overall story and stuff, I think it probably should have just been female Eivor. I think, especially with the Odin side of things. So,
yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
man.
I do agree, and I haven't got to the Odin parts with her yet,
Yeah,
but you are when you're male Eivor, it just feels like Eivor walking through Asgard.
right.
So I imagine that as a female, it's gonna feel different because you look different, you sound different, you're a whole different character. So I am looking forward to that. And in because I knew I was talking to you and I had stuff to do, I was gonna go through it again. But I'm actually going to look. I might actually go through it as female Eivor and um just enjoy it for what it is, and I'll go through it again. While we're talking about hits and misses with Assassin's Creed,
Yeah.
did you manage to have a go of Valley of Memory?
Oh boy, did I loved it.
And I
Um,
so if you did,
yeah,
I wanted to know what you think of it, and why do you think that it performed better than Claws of Awaji?
yeah. I can absolutely tell you how my thoughts on it. It's funny, right? Because they're actually so comparable. You can Claws of Awaji is about um Nale going off to a different map, different land to go find her mother. Valley of Memory is about Basim, who goes to a far off different land to go find his father. But and they came out like 2 months apart from each other, which is like kind of insane. Of course, there's the whole Saudi Arabian thing where they were the ones funding the project, so timing is kind of thrown
Yeah,
out the window. It's kind of whatever they wanted, I'm assuming. So it's just they're so easy to compare because they came out so similarly and their premise is so similar. But the way that they went about making them are the complete different sides of the spectrum, right? You have one where they say, here's this big open land. You're going to have to go and assassinate 25 people once you find your mom, and you have to take down this big crime boss at the top. Go. It is a gameplay focused DLC. It's about 10 to 12 hours of running around Awaji, right? Which I like Awaji. I'm a
yeah,
huge fan of Shadows. I actually prefer like playing Shadows and being in that world over Mirage. However, the Valley of Memory DLC is exactly the opposite of what they did with Awaji. It is, here's this big open world again, but we're only going to take you through a tiny portion of it. It's 3 hours long. It is extremely linear, extremely story based, and they cooked, man. This style of storytelling is where they need to direct their focus. I think it's fascinating to look at when they made the shift from Syndicate to Origins, and they had this giant open world in Origins. They said, okay, we're gonna have you go through almost every single part of that world, and the story's gonna take you all around it, and it's gonna be 40 hours long, and it's gonna be this massive thing with side quests, and you're not necessarily going to focus on the main story the whole time. Where, and then they continue that in Odyssey, Valhalla, and Shadows, where, in my opinion, I think this is really where they lost the fan base because it's going from a story character driven game to a time period history simulator like gameplay driven game, and I think that's where you lose a lot of the personal connection to the series. And then Bordeaux comes in with Mirage, and they were given this project and they were like, all right, here's a DLC for Valhalla, go ahead. And then they said, oh, we're going to make it a full game, go nuts, do your thing. I quite enjoy Mirage a lot. They still have a lot of those same storytelling elements where you're
yeah,
kind of going, you have like the character side of things in Basim and the assassin side of things, and it's not terribly focused. They come in this Valley of Memory DLC and they absolutely cooked, in my opinion. I think it has some of the best acting, cutscenes, voice acting, uh, emotional moments in all of Assassin's Creed, and it was 3 hours long, and it was
yeah,
free, which is
yeah,
like crazy. So I'm a huge fan of it, man. I think they need to take this as like a case study. You have two DLCs with the same premise that came out at the same exact time that were, handled completely differently. One got pretty, underwhelming reviews, and the other one got raving reviews.
yeah,
And I don't think it has to do with money. I really don't. I would have paid for Valley Memory, right? I would have
yeah,
happily done it. I think a lot of people would have. And I think they need to sit back and look and say, okay, the future of this series should be on that side of things, on the story driven, character driven side of things,
yeah.
rather than the overwhelmingly large, like gameplay driven side of things. So, yeah, I'm so impressed by it and I loved it.
So I 100% agree with you. And it looks like everybody in the comments
Yeah.
100% agrees with you as
Yeah.
well. And it's really because it's funny that you said that it's the 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 same story, and it's
Yeah.
something I've said quite a lot. It's something I've brought up in previous episodes of Rally the Creed. Is that essentially it's the same. It's two sides of the same coin. Like there's a parent that you're going to save. There's a new,
Mhm.
even down to the new additions of like the ambushes and
Mm.
all these different like forts and stuff. Everything was virtually identical. But there was some. I can't tell you what happened in Claws of Awaji,
Right.
like down to, but I can tell you exactly what happened in Valley of Memory, and it was such an emotional journey. And that last scene with Basim and his dad just tugs at your heartstrings, and it just leads you into this like so out of the blue, emotional. Like, I'm just going to walk off into the
Yeah.
desert now, and you're never going to see me again. And it's like, oh my god, I can't believe that this is where we're ending. Like, he didn't know who Basim was, and for me, as a dad, um, I don't know, it just really pulled at me, and it was so well written and so well done that I it made me wonder why Bordeaux, who did both DLCs, did really well with Valley of Memory, but not so much with Shadows.
Interesting. I didn't actually know Bordeaux did Claws of Awaji.
Yeah, so they did the Claws of Awaji
Oh, wow.
DLC. So it was really weird to see that they did both these DLCs that were virtually identical. Yeah, one failed to miss the mark, and like you said, it was more gameplay focused, whereas Valley of Memory was more. It was emotionally driven, and it felt like someone, um, like we were going through that pain with Basim, and it just felt like it was written so much better. I was thinking potentially it was because Shadow's engine is different to Mirage's, I think. So I believe that Bordeaux, who did Mirage, they had their engine, whereas Shadows, they're using a different engine, a different style, potentially. I don't know, but they feel like two different things, even though they're done by the same studio. It's really weird.
That is really weird. Yeah, no, it's funny because I actually really love the island of Awaji. I love how they
Yeah,
did make it like darker and creepier with the traps, and the boss fights were excellent. I
yeah,
think those are some of the three of the best boss fights in Assassin's Creed. They're all three are unique. I think all three were much more difficult than your average AC boss fight, and so it had this kind of stuff. I did not realize they were done by the same studio. That's fascinating because that's when you realize like, yeah, this stuff is decisions made by way higher ups
yeah,
about what to do in terms of storytelling and um like how they want to actually go about the modern day stuff, and all these are decisions that the higher ups who's ever making those decisions, they're very much aware of, like for example, there's no modern day on shadows. That's 100% intentional.
yeah,
That is a direct kind of decision made to say, okay, new players are welcome. You have to have no legacy knowledge. Come on in, play Assassin's Creed. It is a slap in the face to old fans, right? Where you're kind of like, this, it feels so much smaller without modern day, but these are conscious decisions that are made. Um, and so somebody somewhere was like, yeah, we want these more like from softy kind of bosses. We want this to be much more gameplay focused. Forget the storytelling. And to be honest with you, that kind of gameplay lines up a lot closer with Shadow's base game, right?
yeah.
Where it would be weird if they went with this like super linear kind of story that they did in Mirage. So I think this was an overall like game wide decision that they made. I hope they learn from it. I hope they look at the two and they say, okay, one was absolutely adored and thought of as like some of the best stuff we've put out in this series in years, and one of it was called overpriced and was hated on pretty hardcore and overall just
Yeah.
forgotten. I don't know a lot of people who played Closet Waji. I really don't. So, um, yeah, man, I really hope that this kind of takes us in the right direction for Hex. I hope it's not too late, is what I'm saying. I hope it's not too late for them to be like, oh, we need to write a really linear focused story for
Yeah,
Hex. So, um, yeah, because I think it was too late for Shadows.
I think
I
so.
think it was. I think they knew this. There were plenty of delays in Shadows. They did a lot of to Ubisoft's credit, they did a lot of listening, right? They took away the season pass, remember? And they
Yeah,
they they did a lot of things where they're like, oh, and there's no more like real pre-order. There was something with the pre-order that was like super pre-order bonus where you pay 100. They went back on a lot of those really kind of
yeah,
frowned upon practices. They did lots of delays to polish the game. So I think it was just so to my understanding, you correct me if I'm wrong on this. They kind of dropped Star Wars Outlaws. and that's when everything kind of went backwards. And it's to where they were like, all right, we can't mess up Shadows. We can't mess up this mainline entry in this our flagship franchise. We have
Yeah.
to really like make sure we nail this. So it actually led to them kind of backtracking on a lot of these frowned upon practices. So I'm just hoping that that carries into things like Black Flag Remake and Hex, and down the line. I think they are listening, and I just hope that we continue to see that.
It's funny you should say that, because my next question, it leads into my next question really well. So given the franchise's flopping and changing from a narrative focus of Mirage to the open world of Shadows, what future direction do you think that Ubisoft needs to go in to adopt for for Assassin's Creed, to remain both respected and commercially successful? Like, what do you think they need to go?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I do actually, I have thought about this, and I do have an answer of what I think they need to do, because, I love the RPG games. I love these. I prefer them. I am a new gen in that I prefer this style of game. I look forward to these more. I know I'm going to be putting years into these games, and that really gets me excited. But this story just doesn't hit the same because it's too scattered. So I think if they're going to do like this kind of open world again, I think they need to find a way to just say, we're telling, like I said, kind of with Valley Memory, we're going to tell our story. You're not going to see the whole world. You're not going to see every little part of it. We're not going to take you 40, 50, 60, 70 hours to complete it. I think they need to write a 15 to 20 hour long story that takes place in a section of this giant map. And then they say, okay, now you have this huge map, go explore. It's kind of how I played Diablo 4 for the first time this year. It was totally random. I'd never played any ARPGs. That was never my thing, but I said, all right, let me try this. And I had a great time. But the way they did the story, it took like 20 hours. You visit like 10% of the map. And the common, I actually enjoyed the story, but the common thing with Diablo, I guess, is like, oh, you finished the story. Now, like, you can start playing the game. So I think they could like have it both ways. I really do. I think you need to have a focused narrative to get the hardcore gamers. I think that's true. I think anybody who's watching this, anybody on TikTok who's into gaming, anybody who's, into the Game Awards or anything like that, that's what they're looking for. Whereas you look at these RPG games and they're wildly successful, every single one of them, from a monetary perspective, because of the casual audience, not because of the hardcore nerds on TikTok, right? Not because of us. It's because of people who have no idea what's going on, and they're like, with the Game Awards and then and the culture of all this crap. And they say, oh, I want to buy that cool, Japanese Assassin's Creed. And they play like 10 hours of it. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go. I just hope that they're listening to their harder core fans, even though I guess, money wise, maybe that doesn't make sense. But yeah, what would you want to see, James? Where would you want it to go? Because
so I think you're definitely right, and the comments are right. From a narrative point of view, it needs to be a linear story. It needs to be you kill this person, this person, and this person in this particular order. There is no other way around it. But from a map point of view, I think open world RPG is the way to go. I love Shadows. I love the older games, so I'm kind of in the middle. I kind of like both. But I do think that from narratively point of view, it needs to be very linear. Very linear. Kind of, I hate that I'm going to say this, but Black Flag was linear and open world.
Yes,
it's one of my biggest gripes with the game. But if they did something like that, this is a game that is loved almost universally by most AC fans. So if they did something that was linear story-wise but open world, I think that would appease both groups, and it would do really well. how they'll do it for Hex, because I've heard that it will be linear,
Yep.
but how that looks game wise, I'm not too sure. Because I would say that Mirage was semi linear, because after your first assassination, you could go to one of two areas, um, and then you could like it didn't open up an entire wheel for you to kill everybody.
Yep.
So I think even something that's semi-linear might work, but from a story point of view, we've seen with Mirage, we've seen from Valley of Memory that those storytelling points work really well, and it's just something that they need to lean into more. That's where I want to see them go, and I want them to be brave again. I don't want them to worry about if this is going to make half the fans happy or are these going to make some of the fans. Just make the game that you want to make, because that's what they did with the first Assassin's Creed. They wanted to make a Prince of Persia game, but it ended up being Assassin's Creed. Just take that leap. Just don't worry about what the haters are going to say. Just do what you want to do.
So
That's
can
kind
I
of where I
can
am.
I ask? I have a question for you because
Yeah.
I think about this all the time. Are they too far gone? Like
Ooh.
if they put out the greatest game of all time and they did everything we're saying right now and it's like has a Red Dead 2 story, it has like some sick lore, a great modern day. I can 100% people saying this sucks Ubisoft. Like regardless of if it's actually amazing. Like let's say they put out the greatest game of all time. I can see hate comments. What are your thoughts?
I I actually agree with you that
Yeah.
no matter what they do, they're going to get hate for it. Just
Yeah.
like I don't know if you've played it, but um, Avatar: The Frontiers of Pandora,
Yes.
stunning game. I actually really like it. The gameplay is really good, but it gets so much hate because it's made by Ubisoft.
Yep.
Um, the Prince of Persia: Lost Crown,
Mm.
which was nominated for Game of the Year, gets hate because it's made by Ubisoft. So no matter what they do, they're going to get hate for it. I've always said that Mirage is the game that fans asked for. They asked for a more stealthy game. They asked for a sort of return to form, and they did that. The combat in the original Assassin's Creed wasn't great combat. So everything that people complain about Mirage, it's stuff that they asked for, and it still gets hated on.
Yeah.
So I do genuinely think that no matter what they do, they're gonna get people out there that hate them just for the sake of hating them.
Yeah, that sucks. That
Yeah,
sucks as someone who loves these games. And I played Avatar Frontiers of Pandora before this nice third person update. And I remember when I played it, I was like, wait a minute, everything hold up right now because this is genuinely the prettiest game I've
yeah,
ever played, like by far. The
yeah,
open world in that game is stunning, stunning. I think the story was very lackluster, and the combat, like shooting these giant tanks with your wooden arrows, that got old for me pretty quickly. But I think it's not talked about when you're talking about some of the games with the greatest graphics of all time, or for example, or like best visuals, or that game is at the number one top of my list. It's stunning, and you'll never hear anybody talk about it. I same thing with Outlaws. I played Star Wars Outlaws, and the way I talk about Outlaws really is it's like a pretty average video game and some really good Star Wars. And again, it has like a beautiful open world, and you have this really, I don't know if you played it,
yeah,
but I love the way you can do the gang factions and you can kind of, you're really
yeah,
like not a spy. What's the word? You're dealing to both sides, and it's
yeah,
really really fun. And nobody's gonna play it because it was made by Ubisoft. So it's interesting though because I say nobody's gonna play it, and I saw a couple comments here. I think it was Julia mentioned like no one's gonna risk the money. People risk the money anyway. This is
yeah,
why Ubisoft's in kind of like a tough spot because um like Valhalla made more money than any game like in a really long time.
Yeah,
So I think they're in a pretty tricky spot to be like, we hear you, especially after Mirage gets backlash, right?
yeah,
They're like, okay, what the hell are we listening to you guys for then?
yeah,
You're gonna hate on it
exactly.
anyway.
That's
I'm,
and that's what I've always said. I've said Mirage is the game that AC fans asked for.
yeah,
It's the game that they wanted, and they hate it.
yeah, it's crazy.
So why would Ubisoft go, well, actually, yeah, let's listen to you because we gave you what you wanted and you complain about it. Um, it's I I think Ubisoft making world building is literally second to none.
I
Like
agree.
Valhalla, all of the RPG games look stunning. Like world wise, they look great. Um, Avatar is one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen, and I
Yeah.
think it actually looks better in first person than it does in third person.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
it looks great. Uh, Outlaws again, another beautifully built world, and people are like, yeah, but Ubisoft made it, and like as I think Dallas said that Ubisoft making an underwhelming story has always been their shortest downfall. That has always been their issue. We were very
Yeah.
lucky with the Ezio trilogy, I think, but overall, their story's always never been the greatest story to write home about.
So I want to ask you this as well because there's a lot of talk of like, oh, we need another Bayek game, we need another Arno game. Like, was the Ezio series just special because it allowed you to play as the same character 3 times and you can see a real like character progression? And in a similar way, at least in the Kenway saga, like you get generations of this family who you're playing with. And I think it definitely helps people connect with the characters more. But at the same time, I'm also strongly of the opinion that like Origins 2 would not fit, it would not sell well, it would nobody needs that. I think we need like a redo. And I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind if we had smaller games with, multiple entries of the same character to get somebody connected to. And maybe that's what they tried to do with like Layla, but that didn't work. So,
So for me, I think going to Layla briefly, I think the reason people didn't like Layla is because she's the first named modern day protagonist after Desmond.
uh-huh.
If they had done, if they had done someone named direct, if Black Flag had a named modern day protagonist, we would all be hating on that person. But because it was nameless, because it wasn't someone that we knew, nobody really cared about it. But Layla's the first named modern day protagonist, and um, that's why she gets so much hate. But I think so. What we do know, and we've heard it before, is that there was only supposed to be 3 Assassin's Creed games: Altair game, a Ezio game, and then a Desmond game.
Yep.
But Ezio's popularity from just that one game spawned the next 2, and then the series that we know now. So I would say that yes, his story is so good because we spent so long with him. But if you just took it on that one game, if you just took it on AC2, he that was I felt that was such a good story that we grew with him in that game from a young, brash, womanizing man
Yeah.
to a older, womanizing man that wanted to do the right thing. And I think
Right.
in such that small space that he captured everyone's popularity, and I think that's what carried the series for as long as it had, or does.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think maybe they struck gold and then they like just can't seem to
Yeah,
replicate it until like Origins, I'd say, right? You have a really gripping, convincing character in Bayek that you're rooting for. You see his motivations. It's a very emotional story and it works really well. And um I really, really hope that whoever is our protagonist of Hex, that they hammer that kind of like you need to be able to connect with them. You need to like with Bassam now. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, Bassam's probably one of my favorite characters
Yeah,
because you just see this whole new side of him that people can relate to." And like you said, he's from coming from the point of view of the father and all this other stuff that it's a story that people get connected to. It's not slitting somebody's throat with a hidden blade is not where I go, "Oh yeah, that's like
yeah,
my life." Right? I mean, so you have to it's a fine line that they're going to have to toe. And there's all this uncertainty with Tencent and the buyout and Ubisoft's not doing too hot on the cash side of
yeah,
things. And like, I just hope the best for this series, man. I want it to be liked again. I want people to say, "Oh, this was a great game." Even in the nerdy gaming corner that we're in here, I want people to say this was excellent. And I miss those days because every time I say like, "Oh, I love Shadows. It's great." 85 comments come in of how I don't know what I'm talking about. I need to play other
yeah,
games and it's trash. And most of those comments are from people who didn't even play it. So the um the public opinion of this series right now, I don't think has ever been lower, which is a shame because Shadows genuinely
yeah,
was a success. I mean, if you remember on launch, we're talking 8s, 8.5, 7.5. Like we're in the good to
yeah,
very good range of ratings. Steam reviews were overwhelmingly positive for the first week. And when you consider that there were probably a ton of people who were review
yeah,
bombing it anyway, it makes it even more impressive. So it's a shame that like Shadows, which was a success at launch, has now just turned into this other like, oh, that's trash. Like it wasn't trash when people were playing it. It seemed
yeah,
to only be trash when the people who played it moved on to other games because they finished it, and now the same people who just say, "Oh, Ubisoft sucks," right? They come
yeah.
in now that Shadows the cycle's over, and they can say, "I told you it was a bad game. Nobody likes it," and it sucks, man. I hope that I hope we get you know something really really that we can attach to, and that the whole community enjoys more
Yeah.
so than just like making money for the company. But I guess we'll see.
So I was live the other day and I was playing Valhalla. Um, and obviously, when you go live, you can say what the game is. Like, so I put there what the game is, and someone just comes in and goes, "Oh, another Ubisoft slot." I'm like, you, you can't. This is just the craziest thing. The hate that Ubisoft gets
Yeah, man.
just for existing
Yeah,
it's just outrageous. Um, yeah, it's just insane. But this leads me on to my next question because um, obviously potentially we could be getting Hex coming out soon, or we could get some news about Hex.
yeah.
But I watched a recent TikTok of yours where you said that you want it to be dark, creepy, and disturbing.
Mm.
Um, I want to know, how do you think that would look in Hex? Like, what are you looking for
Oh, yeah. I
when
mean,
covering those particular things that you would like to see?
yeah. I'm not saying like I want Bloodborne out of this thing, but I want like I hope 80% of this game is at nighttime, right? And I hope you have these like totally out of scale, like creepy castles. And like this is about the witch trial. It is a dark time. It's creepy. People were killed just from mass hysteria. I mean, it's really
Yeah,
and if you take that and you Assassin's Creedified it a little bit and you make it so that they were really witches and like there are some like and it's the result of some
yeah,
Isu artifact, right? That one of these women got an apple or something and it made them think everybody was a witch. And I want to see rituals. I want to see like bloody sacrifices. I want to see like this should be like the Halloween Assassin's Creed game. I think
oh
it's a
yeah,
untapped kind of area. However, I think we get shades of it in Unity, Origins, and Valhalla. I think that
yeah,
it bodes really, really well, as I said in that clip, that Montreal's making this because Origins is creepy at times. Man, it's dark. There's tombs, there's caskets, there's you have to have your torch out and there's spider webs, you're going through stuff.
yeah,
Um, and then Valhalla, oh God, there's some creepy old ruins, and you know the parts where you have to like get rid of that skull, and there's always like creepy like witch vibes, and
Witches, yeah, yeah,
yeah, like that vibe right there of those little activities you have to do where there's always like hanging bodies from trees and stuff like that. Like, yeah, yeah, exactly. Shadow of Venice. Make
yeah,
a fear system like in Jack the Ripper DLC. Like they should lean into this entirely. It should be the entire game should be dark, rainy, creepy. I think what I'm getting at is it should be unique. People
yeah,
should see a clip of this game and go, "Oh, that's Hex," right? I know that, and you're not going to confuse it with any other game. I hope we get a female protagonist who is like, you know, in her little like creepy little witch costume, or like a little nun outfit, or some
yeah,
creepy religious looking thing. Like this has to be the reason I'm so passionate about this, I think, is because they could do it. I think
yeah,
this is a great opportunity to lean into some really dark, creepy, bloody, like it's M. We're rated M here.
yeah,
This isn't, you can't toe around it. Like go nuts, go full Diablo, go
yeah.
Bloodborne,
Go
go
crazy,
like,
yeah,
yeah, go crazy. This is, I think if they really, really lean into that theme and that tone, and like you get some creepy music, like this, it could be really, really good. And I think, you know, a lot of people I see when they talk about Syndicate, like, oh, that could have been it. When it's nighttime in Syndicate and you're in London and it's raining and you got the top hat and the big trench coat, like
yeah,
it's that, like, it's like Bloodborne.
yeah,
But because Quebec made it, right, it's like goofy and fun, which I adore Syndicate. So I love that it is. But you have now an opportunity to like really go with a unique time period, really go with a unique tone to this series. And it could be amazing. I think
yeah.
that's why I'm so excited about it.
I I agree. We've talked about Hex a few times on the podcast,
Mm,
and I want witches, I want magic. If that's what we're doing, then lean into it.
yeah.
But I have talked about a possible twist, and I wanted to see what your thoughts were on it.
Mm,
So my thought is that the Templars are creating the witch trials to just publicly assassinate assassins.
oh, yeah.
So
Fire.
they're not that they've made up this story of witches and magic and all sorts, and not really made it up, but they've to the public they've made up this story that there's witches and there's magic and these people are out to hurt you and out to really like basically just destroy you. So what they're doing is they're just dragging out assassins that they found or family of assassins and just burning them at the stake or just getting rid of them just for because to the public they look like they're doing the good thing,
Yeah.
whereas we know deep down that they're not. I wanted to see what your thoughts were on it.
I mean that sounds fire to me. I have so much trouble with like coming up with my own theories because I'm always like, damn, they could have done this. But yeah, they should do that. I think this is again a great opportunity. What is this? Holy Roman Empire, Germany. What is it? 14, 1500s? Something like
Something
that.
like that, yeah.
So we're in the like end of the Dark Ages. It's a perfect time to bring back the Templar Assassin real duology. Like really make it like they are opposed to each other and they hate each other. You know, it's not in Japan where they made the excuse kind of like, well, Templars just haven't gotten out to Japan yet. And
Yeah,
it's like, no, well, we're in Germany. Like we know Templars are
yeah,
in Europe. We know assassins are in Europe. We know this is all happening live. I want to see that conflict. And I think that's a great way to do it, right? If
yeah,
the Templars are like, or even better, yeah, they're like using the apple or something to control everyone's minds into thinking the assassins are evil witches or something like that. Yeah, that's
yeah.
all fantastic. So, um, again, I don't know too much about like the German witch trial side of things. As I said, like I live in Boston, so I don't know how much you know about the Salem witch trials. Have you heard of it at all?
A little bit, yeah. Not
So
not
that's huge over here.
yeah,
Huge. So basically what happened, to my understanding, was they saw what was happening in Europe and it kind of that hysteria spread around here back in like yeah like the pilgrim times, and they
yeah,
kind of rallied up this town in Salem. It's Salem, Mass here. um and they killed a bunch of women because they were accused of being witches, and it's fascinating history. It's very dark history, and
yeah,
like around Halloween around here that whole town is just mobbed. It's a huge big thing. So yeah, witch trials are near and dear to me, and I of course I don't know the actual Holy Roman Empire part of it, but I'd imagine it'd be a really cool time period. And I actually I have a question for you here because and I was talking about it with Bubba. Like, I get excited when they go for these somewhat more obscure kind of themes, right? When you go with, you know, Spartans and Vikings and samurai, and it's like it's kind of cheap, right? Like, because
Yeah,
you're marketing that time period. You're marketing samurai, you're marketing Vikings. People go, "Ooh, Vikings, I want to play that." When you have to market Baghdad, right? It's not as instantly recognizable
yeah,
to the people. So that at least gives me hope that like they have a story to tell. They have a plan to like actually they have a character in mind that they want to explore and they want to tell their story. And so it does give me more hope when you get some of these more obscure kind of settings that aren't as easy to market. I think it kind of bodes well. So I have high hopes for Hex, man. And just really quick, all I want this year is some sort of communication that the game is real. That's all I want. So
yeah. I agree. I'm kind of worried that at present Ubisoft are so scared to do any sort of marketing or talk about anything, because of potentially the backlash that they got with Shadows. So I did like we could argue that the Game Awards would have been the best place to announce something. With
absolutely.
so many people watching, it would have been the perfect time.
Hmm.
But they're so scared of the repercussions and the fallout from whatever they do that they're just not prepared to do it. And it's something I said earlier that I want them to just take a risk again. Don't worry about what the fans who love Assassin's Creed are gonna love it and play it no matter what. So just do what you want to do, go with it. Like Hex is not a time period that I would have thought of.
Yeah,
But yeah, let's go into it. Let's go with magic. Let's see what we can do with this. Let's see what we can where we can go with this because it could be the start of a whole new franchise,
I agree.
or a whole
I agree.
new era. It's something we've talked about before. It could be the start of the dark era for Assassin's Creed, and I just want them to just forget about the haters, forget the noise, and just do what they want to do. But talking about Hex, have you ever seen a film called The Black Death? It's got Sean Bean in it, and it's similar to like the same sort of time period.
No,
And
I haven't.
there's witches, there's all sorts, and it's a really good thing to watch. And I kind of want that. Like it's dark, it's gritty. There's people that are getting sick. There's you don't know what's going on, and I just want that. And I also think a fear system like in Jack the Ripper would work really well as well.
Yeah, yeah, they could do so much with it, man. This would be
Yeah,
it could be, yeah, it could be. It's so unique that it could be a turning point. I see Julia in the chat saying like the only way they could win back our trust is with Steam free demos. Fine. And that's the kind of risk I think you're talking
yeah,
about, right? Like you want them to say, "Oh, we trust our shit." Like
yeah,
we know this is going to be good. We know this is going to be like, yeah, take it, enjoy our game, have fun with it. It's kind of the vibes that they gave off with Mirage. I remember Mirage went gold early, like a week early, and they're like, "We'll release it early. Like we know our stuff's good."
yeah.
And in Mirage, you're never going to find a glitch. It's a very polished game, if nothing else. So, I kind of, yeah, I want them to have that kind of like swagger back, but maybe they're holding it for Ubisoft Forward, right?
Maybe we hope.
Um,
We hope.
we hope because man, I just want a CG trailer. Like I want to see what this game is. I saw, geez, Louise, they announced it 3.5 years ago.
Yeah,
Like, come on, man, let's get something, please.
yeah.
We need something. But
We
in the
do
other
need
camp, sorry, go ahead.
something. Sorry, I didn't mean to. We do need something,
Mm,
even from even if it's just a hey guys, you've done so much for us. Here's a little treat. Just trickle it out to your fans. Here's something. If even if they're not going to do this big, massive, grand reveal, just give us something. Because the amount of times, um, I've gone live, or in my comments, it's when's this coming out? When's this going on? What's this doing? I'm like, guys, I'm so far down the pecking order that I wouldn't know anyway. But if we knew, we'd tell you. But we know nothing. We know just as much as you guys do, and it's really frustrating and really hard to build hype for something when you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And
there's not much communication.
Yeah. And that being said, with the rumors of Black Flag going absolutely crazy, what are your thoughts on Black Flag getting a remake to start off with?
Well,
and what do you think that they need to do to make it better?
To make it better, it's interesting. I think I'm of the camp that Black Flag is extremely overrated.
Oh, thank you.
Well, the only reason I say that, I think, is because of the expectation coming into it. A good comparison I can draw to it is, right, like, I watched Game of Thrones, like, probably 3 years ago. Started it all the way through and watched it for the first time. And I was expecting the end of it to be atrocious. And I finished season 8 and I was like, that's what you guys were complaining about? Like that? It wasn't great. It wasn't like the worst thing ever, which is what people will have you believe. And so I kind of went into Black Flag. I played it years after release, same deal. And I was like, this is about to be one of the best video games of the 2010s.
Yeah.
And then I was doing a tailing mission in a boat. And it was like, wait, what the hell is this? Like, it's good. It's a great game. I don't think it's better than Brotherhood, 2, 3, Syndicate, Unity, or like, it's not one of my favorites. It's not at all one of my favorites. And so, maybe this is the time, right? Like, maybe this remake, maybe it's for me, because I think a huge thing holding Black Flag back is it's way too ambitious for 2013 and the PlayStation 3, right? You have this, like you said, you have almost an RPG style open world, except you can't just go on any island. You can't climb any mountain. It's extremely force fieldy. It's extremely it's not free to explore. So this game will be, I would strongly hope, introducing that like Odyssey vibe where it's like go on any little island and walk around and explore. That I'm very excited about. I think updated graphics are always a bonus, especially if it looks anything like Shadows. It'll be great. I don't think they need to touch the story. I don't think they need to what will the gameplay look like? Will it be that AC3, AC Black Flag style combat? Will it be more? I think I've heard rumors of RPG focus with like no modern day. Is that correct? Did I get that right?
From what I've heard is that they're removing the modern day, which I'd just like to say right now, I'm massively happy with.
Really?
It is one of the worst modern day stories ever.
It's not good.
It's not. For me, I was really hyped about Black Flag. I love pirates. I love Assassin's Creed. Yeah, let's stick the two together. And like you said, it's essentially, I've written articles about this. I've done videos that Black Flag is the prototype for the RPG era. And I think this is why we've got it, is that people love Black Flag so much that that's why we now have RPG games. The RPG, not RPG games as a whole, just in Assassin's Creed.
Right.
It has the second largest map. It has a protagonist who isn't an assassin until the end of the game. You can go absolutely anywhere from the get-go. It does have a linear story, but the combat is more aggressive. There's these little
interesting
customization things. There's a prototype for the leveling system. The jackdaw, you can level up the jackdaw, which is essentially Edward's level on what ships he can fight and what ships he can beat. So it's all there, but people love Black Flag but hate the other games. So I want personally them to lean really heavy into that RPG element, and I don't want them to be, oh, this is just the same game with a different updated graphics and everything. I want them to just lean into it and give me a remake, give me something that's actually good.
I personally, seems like we need good, public rep fast. So
Yeah,
let's just remake our, most beloved game and let's get it out there. With this in mind, they better not do a full-blown marketing release cycle for this thing. Like, it doesn't need it. It would be a really bad look for Ubisoft if they were like dropped a CG trailer
yeah,
for a remake and then like it's coming out in 7 months and then they have a gameplay trailer and like we don't need that. Everybody knows Black Flag.
yeah,
Black Flag doesn't need marketing. It can't be $70, right? Like it cannot be. We need, I think, $50 or $40 would be right. I
yeah,
think you need, and I'm of the opinion that they should just say, shadow drop it, go. Talk about like taking risks. I think that would do a lot for fans to make them happy if they're at Ubisoft Forward and they're like, Black Flag Remake, big reveal. And at the end of it, it said available today. Like, that would be a gift to the fans. It would be a gift to the franchise to say, we're not going to spend too much time hyping this thing up or trying to
yeah,
make money off it. I don't think, like, Black Flag Remake should not be something that they're looking to profit off of. I think if they do that, they're missing the point, and I
yeah,
think it would be a really, really a big step back because as a fan who's played every one of these games, I just want a new game.
yeah.
I don't. I hope my Assassin's Creed for the next year or two isn't Black Flag Remake. That would suck. That would suck. I want it to be a nice experience. I play it, we're done, and we can move on to Hexe
Yeah.
coming soon. Like, it should just be a gift to the fans and the community of this game and nothing more. It can't be something to make money. I think if they do that, it'll be a big mistake.
I'm glad you said a shadow drop because Cole said shadow drop too,
It makes
and
sense.
I said that a shadow drop would work well as well because it also minimizes the risk of of backlash because there's no CGI trailers.
Yes.
There's nothing that people can go, oh well, this doesn't look right or this doesn't look right. Kind of like how the Oblivion remake was dropped. It was like
Yes.
they were talking about it, and then all of a sudden they just went, "Oh, by the way, you can play
an hour
now."
Yeah.
It's like, what? And I think that's how they should do it. They should maybe at Ubisoft Forward they can go, right, it's announced. Here it is. Have a look at this trailer. Oh, and by the way, it's live now.
Right.
That would be fantastic, and the buzz and the hype of that would come from that. Everyone would be rushing to find it, download it, play it, and it would massively do well for them, I think.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think I'm a little worried because, like, MGS3 Delta, the Metal Gear remake, I think that was full price. That sucks.
Yeah.
But new Assassin's Creed comes out, I'll be playing it. So I'm very excited for it. I just hope they don't use it as like a way to delay Hex or delay future games or anything like that. Like, I want more games. I want new games. I want new stuff. I want new characters, new stories, new weapons, new time periods. And revisiting one of my not so favorite Assassin's Creed, I'll play it. I'll probably have a lot of fun with it.
So,
but
I've said before, I don't like Black Flag. It's been something that I've been very adamant on, and I will not change that opinion.
Oh yeah.
But I have said that if this remake does come out, I will do everything in my power to attempt to enjoy it and play it. But it still doesn't change my opinion of the original. The original was still is what it is, but I want to enjoy this game, and I want to see it the same way that everybody else wants to see it, that everyone else sees it. I want to look at it the same way I look at the Ezio collection. I want to feel that same thing. So I'm looking forward to it, but I am also very dubious about it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I guess we'll see.
Going back to obviously co-hosting Beneath the Hood, I wanted to know, as a host of a podcast and talking to Bubba and potentially having opposing Assassin's Creed takes sometimes, do you think that softened your view on things, or do you think that it just makes you like I've spoken to a lot of people about the RPG games, Black Flag, and my opinion doesn't change. But do you feel like it softens that opinion for you?
You mean like hearing Bubba's side of things, how we do
Yeah,
oppose? You are you asking like, does that make me see their side more?
yeah. Do you by let's say I'm not sure, but if Bubba was like Black Flag is amazing, it's fantastic.
He is.
Um,
Yeah.
um, do you look at it and go, maybe they're right. Maybe this is something I need to have a look at.
Sometimes. Honestly, yes, sometimes. A lot of the times though, I'll say sometimes yes, sometimes no. Sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I go back, like a good example is I go and I play every time I play Origins, I go, damn, this game's so much better than I remember. Wow, I actually really enjoy this. Like the combat in Origins is so much fun and it's so different from any other game in the series. And every time I play it, I go, oh, I always forget how much I enjoy this game. But then there's things that like are purely nostalgia that somebody will tell me and I'll say, I'm sorry, like you're wrong. Like I another video I put out recently was like, if you don't have as many hours on Assassin's Creed as me, like I'm not going to listen to your opinion. And it came off as a little bit harsh, maybe, or whatever, but it's true. If somebody tells me, like, oh, I loved playing AC2 back in 2009, and I played Black Flag in 2013, and I like played Origins for a little bit, but I haven't played it since then, and they tell me, like, oh, AC2 has better parkour and combat than Shadows. Like, no, I don't care about your opinion. That's kind of like why would I ever listen to somebody who hasn't played the game that I'm talking about? And they'll be like, "Oh, but you just have to go back and play AC2." And it's like, "I play AC2 all the time." AC2's parkour and combat make me want to die. I think it's borderline unplayable. I think it's worse than Brotherhood significantly. And so yes and no. Sometimes I'm wrong and I have to go back, but sometimes I do know what I'm talking about, and nobody's going to change my opinion on most of the things I say
Yeah,
because, quite frankly, I play these games more than most people. So I know what I think, I know why I think it, and yes, Hidden One, the parkour in AC2. Oh my God, you're telling me they added that nice mechanic where you jump up with your one hand where he like misses the freaking ledge every 2 seconds. Yeah, no, that I do not enjoy at all. That's why in Brotherhood when they took it out, it's like, thank God, my Jesus, it's so much better. Yeah, no, sometimes I can't look, you see? And now Mr. Hidden One saying this is where I
yeah,
take my leave goodbye. And oh well, like that's just I think if you try to make an argument that like, oh, another one, and I would love to talk about this if you don't mind me yapping for a
yeah,
second. Unity's combat, everyone goes, wow, I love Unity's combat, right? Because Unity's in like this amazing place right now, but Mirage has the same combat. It's identical. They're two of the worst combats in Assassin's Creed. And I'm not saying, you know, that I dislike it or anything like that, but to argue against that is purely nostalgia because I can point to exactly what we're talking about. Memento Gallery, yes, everyone hates Unity combat. What are you talking about? I'm talking about the people who always tell me how good Unity's combat is, right?
oh,
So the opinions out there all over the place.
yeah,
And you can break it down mechanically. Both games have a nice yellow hit spark when you can parry an attack.
yeah,
Both games have the same amount of enemy types. You have a guy with a spear, you have a big brute, you have the little like fodder guy, you have a gunner or an archer. It's identical. Identical. Big red unblockable attack. You have multiple weapon types in Unity. For the most part, they function exactly the same as the rest of them. So, you can argue it all you want, but everybody seems to argue with me. They like to say, "Oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Brain dead take." Ubisoft shill, all this other shit. But they can never tell me why I'm wrong. Never.
yeah. So
So,
the it's funny you should bring up Unity because it's not a question that I put down, but it was something that I wanted to talk to you about because Unity, for some reason, is getting a massive amount of love right now.
mhm.
And I can't understand why it's getting this amount of love. I think the combat is boring. I think the parkour is just animation based. It really does nothing other than it's just animations over what you can do.
Yeah, I mean, I think
its launch was terrible.
Yeah.
The only thing that saves Unity, I think, is Paris, and that is it. Arno is a crybaby. The story's weak, but it's getting so much love right now, and I wanted to see why that was. Do you think that in 10 years' time we'll get people going, oh, well, Shadows is fantastic. I loved Shadows when it first came out, because I remember people hating Unity at first, but now people seem to love it again. So I'm wondering if you think that we'll see a resurgence in AC games for similar to Unity.
I think Unity's in a pretty specific spot. I think because of that bad launch, it puts it at this real like downward, started off at the worst, so that people can come back. So when I played Unity for the first time, I remember being like, oh, this is great. Like I like Unity a lot. It's very good. It's like probably top 5.
Yeah.
I have the same opinion. My opinion hasn't changed. You have people like Memento Gallery in here, right? He is Mr. Unity. He is the reason that this resurgent has come around on TikTok, at least. And you have some bigger YouTubers as well who are like, I'm revisiting this game, and you know what? It's not so bad. And it's like, well, yeah, it was never bad. It's just popular to hate on shit sometimes.
Yeah.
And so it has a bad launch. Glitches, for one thing, has never bothered me. That has never, I'm talking about visual glitches.
Yeah.
Gameplay glitches can piss me off big time, but somebody's cape clips through their sword, I will never give a shit about.
I don't care.
And yeah, Unity had its problems, you know, glitch wise, but I think people just like to be different. People love to look back and say, "Oh, you know what? It's a good game, and I don't care if you think I'm different. You know, I don't care if that makes me quirky and cool." Like, no, like Unity's a great game. It's not the best game in the series. I think people lost their mind a little bit, right? They see Memento Gallery's parkour clips and they're like, this is beautiful. What they don't know is Memento Gallery has quite a few mods, right? That make the game look extremely nice. And, you know, things in Unity hit. The music's fantastic in Unity. The atmosphere, the vibes, the tone, that kind of Montreal darker vibes are excellent. The combat sucks, in my opinion. I think the stealth is really lackluster compared to like Mirage or Shadows. It's good. But people say it's the best in the series. No, the parkour is probably the best in the series, just because it was a clear focus and a huge part of the game. He only has the win mod, sure.
I was just about to say.
Fine, yes, fine. Use zero. I understand you don't use any parkour mods. I get that. I'm just saying, like, but Memento, don't you understand that it's the win mod, and then you stand on the. I very much like it if you could not lie about what I do. My apologies. I didn't mean to insinuate anything. He does have a mod on his game, fine, the wind mod. And when he stands on the edge of a building and the game looks beautiful in the way that he shows it off, that gets a lot of people into the game. So I think social media, I think YouTube has a huge part of this. And to your follow-up question, Shadows, I think it's just in that too far gone space where 10 years from now, people will probably not think much of it. I say that, and yet you look at Odyssey, and Odyssey gets a lot of love these days as it had a similar launch to Unity in the public opinion of it, right? People were just, it was the most polarizing game, and now you have people who are coming out saying it's my favorite game. It's one of my favorite games. I love Odyssey, but I think people's opinions shift when they come at it from a more objective position. Like when they go back and they play Unity now without really, and it's not really in the public eye, and nobody's really talking about Unity right now, and they go back and they play it and they realize, oh yeah, this is a really solid game. So maybe a similar thing will happen to Shadows, because Shadows is a really solid game. Shadows is a really fun game. It's got excellent gameplay, and I think, yeah, someone who goes back and plays it, they're going to say, oh, you know what, this is actually like pretty darn good. So probably, I'll say probably.
Yeah, so for me, I think that Shadows, I love Shadows. Shadows is in my top 3 Assassin's Creed games of all time.
Yep.
Narwe, I loved her character. I know that not many people did. and that's okay. But I really loved her character. I think it has the best combat we've had so far and the best stealth, and visually it is stunning.
Mm-hmm.
I would really love it if people gave it the Unity treatment in 10 years' time and were like, actually, yeah, this game is great and it is fantastic.
Yeah.
When you forget about the controversy around characters and other stuff and just enjoy it for what it is. So I really do hope that it gets the Unity treatment in 10 years' time.
Yeah, I hope so too, man, because I love it, especially gameplay wise. I get people's criticisms for it, like
Yeah.
the story and stuff isn't focused. And when you play the game and you can make those criticisms, like, yeah, I get that, and I totally get that. That makes sense. But it's when people don't play the game and they just talk shit about it is what that's where I kind of like I don't have patience for it anymore.
But Memento said that Shadows can have it if it gets a wind mod.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
Coming on towards the end of our questions, and then we'll get on to some community questions I've got down. Every day we're getting more and more updates about the Netflix series coming. We know some cast members, we know a director and the writers as well. I want to know what you wanted to see coming from the Netflix show.
Oh man, I don't. So I've never seen the AC movie. I don't watch a whole ton of TV, to be honest. And like, I think what I want from this series is it to not hurt the franchise any further, more than anything else. If this comes out and it's like a big cheese fest and the acting's terrible and it's like, oh, just more Assassin's Creed crap, then it looks extra money hungry. And unfortunately, I think there's a high chance it's like a little disappointing. So like video game content has been on the up, right? Fallout's really good. Last of Us got good reviews. So hopefully they follow in that kind of way. Even a game like Fallout that doesn't have great public reception after Fallout 76, like the show came out really good and the public perception kind of changed about it. So I hope it helps. I don't really have an interest in like the story or anything like that. I hope it doesn't butcher any lore. I hope it doesn't like remember when what was it, Halo? Like didn't Master Chief take his helmet off or something like that? Like we can't have anything like that. Like as long as it doesn't like totally dishonor and destroy the name, I'll be fine with it. I will.
So I think it was Dallas that said that it's rumored to be in ancient Rome. And looking at the locations for where they're filming, potentially that is the case because we've got Rome, we've got Italy, and Lazio as well. So potentially this could be what we're looking at. Funny you should mention Halo because one of the writers has done writing for the Halo series, and he was the showrunner for Halo and is the showrunner for this as well. So but the writers they've done Halo, Homecoming, Fear the Walking Dead, The Sons of Anarchy, Westworld, and DMZ, and that's just a few of the things that they've done. So I hope and I pray if anyone from this is a big ask, but if anyone from Ubisoft or Netflix are watching right now, all I ask is please do not do anything to do with Ezio or any character that we've had so far.
Yeah, I agree.
Because that's just they will automatically get so much hate for that.
Yeah.
Because you guarantee it will be the voice acting's not right. He doesn't look right. They can't do this. They can't do that. So just stay away from anything we've had in game. Just give me a completely new story. Just give me something that we haven't seen before, and then just enrich the lore side of it.
Yes,
maybe. something that we can
Yes.
carry across, because we've got so many books now that are canon that not many people read the books. So there's a lot of things that people don't know about. One of them, for instance, being Altair. So whenever you talk about Altair, they're always like, well, he never got hit. But he did. He didn't get hit in the game. But then they released a book called The Secret Crusade where he got hit and nearly died. So, and that book's canon, so it did happen. And a lot of people don't know that because they don't read the book. But
yeah, I don't read the book. Yeah,
just want them to, if people watch this, I want them to be able to go, okay, so this happened or this happened. And if it is canon, just stick to what we already know. Don't go changing anything.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, as long as it doesn't hurt the franchise any more than it, if it helps it more than it hurts it, I think that's a win. So
yeah, I keep seeing everyone going back to the remake. That AC1 should have got a remake and not Black Flag, and I actually agree. I think AC1 would have been a better choice than, because it's the one right now that when you do anything for it, like you record anything or you're playing it, it looks great, but it doesn't look as good as it could look.
Yeah,
like
no,
all the
definitely
others. If you load up Black Flag now, as much as I dislike it, it is a stunning game. It does look great, but an AC1 remake would absolutely change the game.
Yeah, no, I think that's valid. Julia says it's because they can reuse their Skull and Bones assets, which, okay, fine, maybe so, but it's also the most beloved game in the franchise that they're remaking.
Yeah.
So I think there's some validity to it outside of that. But yeah, I think to me, honestly, I want a AC1 remake. I throw on the AC1 filter in Mirage and run around with the Altair outfit, and that's like good enough for me. But I'm of the opinion that AC2 would be just a gem with a remake. Can you imagine running around Venice with like the lighting and the graphics of Shadows? Like, oh, that would be nuts. I would love that. I'd be all in for it. I'm not an AC2 hater. I quite enjoy playing AC2, but I think it would have a lot to gain from a remake, just like I think Black Flag has a lot to gain. Like I said, like I think if you can just go on any island at any time and climb every mountain and go all over that map, I think that's a huge, huge service to the game as a whole and the gameplay. So I think Black Flag has a lot to gain from a remake. AC1, unfortunately, is the game that's like, people will tell you like just watch a YouTube video and start with Ezio, and it's like kind of. I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I quite enjoy AC1. So yeah, to be honest, I'm not a big remake guy. Like I said, like I don't need remakes, especially if it has to go through this whole release cycle and marketing camp. Yeah, all this stuff. I'd much rather just them focus on their new stuff. But yeah, man, we'll see. There's a lot going on right now, and a lot that's yet to be revealed. So I think
I'm not necessarily so I don't mind a remake. What I don't like is remasters, similar to Assassin's Creed 3, because that remaster actually makes the game look worse.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, definitely. So there's I saw a post about it the other day actually, as well, because they did something with the facial textures. So world-wise, it looks good.
Yeah.
But there's something that they've done with the facial animations that everyone just looks like smooth-skinned and really good, and they've got no depth to them at all. Whereas
it's true.
The original version looked absolutely fantastic, even by today's standards. So there's something if you do a remake, I want it to absolutely blow the original out of the water. That's what we want. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
But we've done 2 remasters now, because essentially the Ezio collection is a remaster, and AC3, and they both haven't really done well for the character side of things. So if they're going to do it, just do it and lean into it and just make it look fantastic. That's what I want.
Yeah.
That was the last of my questions for us, but I wanted to know what your personal hopes are for 2026. What are your plans for the podcast and for you as a content creator? And
Oh, well, so you're talking about some ACJohnny looking forward stuff?
yeah,
Yeah, I would. So the podcast, Bubba and I are now. We said, we looked at each other and we said every 2 weeks we have to, like, we made a pact. We're going to give it our absolute best because we want to really make it good and we love doing it. So that we're committed to, and it's coming back in a big way. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
perfect.
And then personally, I'm going to be streaming a lot more on TikTok, and I'm going to be posting longer form stuff on YouTube as well on my channel. So, big stuff planned, a big year ahead, full steam ahead right now. I'm loving every second of it. It's so fun being part of this community, and yeah, I'm excited to just keep going, man. I can't thank you guys enough for having me on. This was an absolute blast. I had so much fun. So thank you. I'd love to do it again sometime. If we get any news or anything like that, and you want to yap a little bit more, please, you let me know and I will be there.
I have absolutely enjoyed having you on. I do have so I have a question from one of the team of the ones who came before. But I have enjoyed having you on. I've loved chatting to you. Like I said, there's so many great content creators out there for Assassin's Creed, and they all seem to be in the same place at the same time. We've got yourself, there's the Hidden One, there's Memento, there's Dallas Creed, who has been getting some trouble right now, but he's still a great content creator, guys. Don't listen to the hate out there.
Make fun of him for it. Quit.
Yeah. But there are so many great guys out there, and for me, who's only been doing Assassin's Creed stuff for 6 to 7 months now, and to be able to talk to you guys in such a personal way has been actually fantastic, and the community has done so well at letting people in. It's great to see.
Welcome you. I'm a huge fan of your stuff as well, man. It's nice to have, the more people, the better. And yeah, we're a little scary maybe at first. Some people seem to fight and like to beef, but most of us are here for the fun of it, I would say.
So I do have a couple of questions. They're all tied into they're from the same person. There's 3 questions. So what Assassin's Creed protagonist would you say is the best out of the franchise?
Oof. So I have a whole thing about best versus favorite, right? Which I think best and favorite are very different. Who is the best protagonist in the Assassin's Creed franchise?
And while Johnny thinks of an answer, anyone in the comments, let me know who you think is the best protagonist in the series as well.
It's funny. I do have an answer. I think it is my least favorite Assassin's Creed game with the best character in it. It's Shay. Yeah. It's Shay. Shay is the one of the only ones who is like moral to the core. I think his story is, one that tests him, and it's like, wait a minute, the assassins are acting like Templars, and he has to question himself on what he's doing. I think as you can see in the comments right now, like a lot of people would say Eivor, I think is cool as well for those kind of same moral questions. I think I'm a huge Cassandra Alexios lover, because their personality comes out so much more than most of the other characters. They're so funny, they're so goofy, they're so charismatic that that's certainly more of the favorite side of things. But if you're talking best character, I think it's Shay. I would say Shay.
So I'm glad you said that. So I'm actually recording a video for YouTube, which is one of my new hopes for the year. So I've launched that. I'm going to try and get as many videos out as I can and do long form content, which is something completely new to me.
Yeah.
One of the videos I'm doing is a Mount Rushmore of Assassin's Creed characters. So I have 3 characters that I think are essential to Assassin's Creed, but I have my fourth character. I really wondered who it should be, And I thought it should be Shay because he
Yeah.
makes us, for so long, we blindly followed the assassins with no questioning from us whatsoever. So essentially, we are an assassin. We blindly follow this creed without questioning it at any point. And then Shay comes along and goes, actually, we're not necessarily the good guys here. And I think that's a good way that's a good thing that we saw, that we could potentially, we could be the bad guys. But, and I think the way he made us internally look at what we'd done for previous games to now, I think that he is one of the great characters of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, no, I really think so. It's a shame he's in a game that I don't think is the best, but yeah, they did a nice job writing him for sure.
The next question would be, what villain from any of the Assassin's Creed games would you like to see come back?
Oh God, man, villains are not the highlight of this series. However, I do have an answer. I think King Alfred was absolutely amazing, and you could bring him back. I really do. I think what you could do, and I've talked about this with Bubba on the podcast before, but this is like the coolest idea, right? So Eivor comes in and he goes to King Alfred and he's like, "What's going on?" And Alfred's like, "Yeah, I'm shutting down the what the name escapes me. Not the hidden ones,
Yeah, the
Templars before the Templars. What the hell's their name?
why I'm drawing a blank. What the hell?
Yeah, well, you know who I'm talking about. I'm sure someone will comment it. But he ends them, and Eivor does.
Order of the Ancients. That's it.
Thank you. Order of the Ancients. So he's like, yes, I'm ending the Order of the Ancients. I want to start something new. And Eivor's like, great, yeah, whatever, just stay out of my way and like stop doing this. And he's like, okay, sure. And they go about their merry way. I think if we get now, I'm talking about a Templar game. I'm not talking about Rogue, where you're like really still the good guy. I'm talking about an evil game where King Alfred's like head Templar and he starts this order and you go on the Crusades. That would be sick. If you're like some evil Templar marching through Europe and going to the Middle East in the Crusades, that would be really, really cool. And I think Alfred would fit in there. I think Alfred was super, super complex. I think there's a place for him to come back. And that would be absolutely my choice.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Thank you.
What are your opinions? The last question from is, what are your opinions on Desmond's death? How did you feel about it? How did you?
I think the end of AC3 in general is the payoff wasn't there.
Yeah.
I love AC3 as like my Revolutionary War Boston. I mean, it takes place 3 minutes from my house. I'm here. So I have a nice personal connection to that game. But the modern day side of things, it had the like nice modern day gameplay. But the payoff was just so rushed, right? We have probably 20 questions going into the end of AC3 as things are wrapping up about modern day and all these things and Desmond and how it ties to Ezio and how it ties to all this and what's the overall thing in Juno and all these things happening. And the payoff comes in a minute and a half, 90-second cutscene. And it's like, that was it? All of that happened so fast. I don't mind Desmond's death, especially once Valhalla, did what Valhalla did. I adore seeing the reader in Valhalla. I think that was like one of the best moments in all of Assassin's Creed. But yeah, when he dies, I'm not a big Desmond guy, so I don't have much like sadness about it. I think he's like about as plain bagel as you can get as a human being. So it made sense for him to die for it all and stuff like that. But the end of AC3 definitely lacked some punch in terms of payoff for me. So I don't remember that scene terribly fondly. I remember it ending and I was like, oh my God, like it's over? Like I had 20 questions going into it. They attempted to answer all my 20 questions in a minute and a half, and that was that. It's like, wow, okay. So yeah, it's time I do a replay, man. I haven't replayed the older games in probably like 2 or 3 years now. So it's maybe this year holds a nice series replay for me. We'll see.
For me, I felt like I think Dallas said that they fluffed it a little bit, and I think they did. I definitely think that they.
That's British. What does that mean?
They basically they ruined it. They just
Okay.
they just
Cool.
rushed it, and without, like you said, without any real context
Punch.
or
Yeah.
reason, and it
Yeah.
just sounds really, really rushed, and I didn't like it at all. Yeah, so that was it for me. I thought it was, they definitely could have kept him alive longer. Don't think he necessarily needed to die, because again, you've spent, by this point you're 5 games in with Desmond.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, just for him to go in a 90-second cutscene you're doing a disservice to your fans that have spent so long with
I
him.
agree. I strongly agree.
It's the same as, for me, the same as Embers for Ezio's, like that little film that they made where you see Ezio older and he dies. I just think it's a bit of it's just a wasted opportunity, I think. Like, they could have done so much with it, and they just didn't.
Yeah. It's they tripped at the finish line, but oh well. Hopefully we get. Man, I can't even tell you how much I want a bigger story, and bigger I mean like a multiple game, like overarching modern day line that I care about. Like we need that back. Yeah. We'll guess we'll keep our fingers crossed here, but.
Yeah, that I can see everyone's like, oh, they really liked Embers. They thought it was a nice ending that he wanted. I don't. It's not necessarily. It was nice and it was a good end. I would have liked to have seen him go out all guns blazing.
Yeah,
this was a guy who didn't care about his own safety. He only cared about doing what was right. And I would like to have seen him go out all guns blazing, maybe surrounded by Templars without any way of surviving, and just go out like that. I think that's what I would have liked to have seen anyway.
Yeah.
But I think that's the end for us now. I think we're
Wow. What a great time, James. Thank you so much, man. I can't even tell you how much I appreciate this. This was such an honor, and I had an amazing time, and I'm a huge fan of what you do, and
thank you.
I will be watching, and of course, please keep commenting and hit me up in the DMs, anything you ever want to talk about, and I'll be doing the same. And it was such a pleasure meeting you, man, like officially, and I had such a great time. I can't thank you enough. So.
Well, I'm glad that you're really you and not somebody trying to trick me.
No, it's just
that's what I felt for. Your message came through and you're like, yep, this is something I'll be up for. This is right up my street. I messaged into the Discord and was like, guys, I don't know if this is real or not, or whatever. And it's like, I think it is. And I was like, oh God. And then you joined a live of mine, and I was like, oh my God, I'm fanboying so hard right now. It's crazy.
Man, I'm the same as you, man. It's just do it for long enough and it'll come. So, yeah, anytime, man. It's really me. So,
but I would love to have you on again. Cole, who is the other host of the podcast.
Yes, I've seen him.
He's on a hiatus from March, so I'm looking for guests to come on between now and like from when he leaves and stuff. So I'll happily have you on again. And
hit me up, man. You let me know. I'll be there.
Yeah, 100%.
Whatever I can do to help. Huge fan.
So, just before we go, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say thank you for all of the gifts that you've given to myself, and I can see that Johnny's getting gifts as well. So thank you to everybody. All of your gifts help pay for the ones who came before websites and stuff. So it helps finance us. So I massively do appreciate it. We're now ranked on Google. You can find tons of episodes and clips on TikTok, on YouTube, and Spotify. And one way you can support us is by rating us on Spotify. Get involved in the comments on YouTube. We'll always reply when we can. Who was that? Johnny, no, you didn't.
Hey man, to help with the website.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you guys. It means so much to us. And for me personally, to be able to talk to you guys about this just makes me so happy. It makes me like, I love talking about Assassin's Creed and talking to people like yourself, Johnny, Dallas Creed. It's so good. Hopefully one day I can be considered on your levels, but it's been fantastic. I appreciate it.
Just give it a few months, you'll get there. That's all it'll take.
So our next episode, which is episode 25, will be hosted by Cole, and he will be joined by one of our video content creation team members, Calvin, on the 11th of January, and that will be live on TikTok again. I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone listening. It's been brilliant. And just before we go, Johnny, where can everybody find you?
Oh, go to TikTok where you're at here, and ACJohnny right there. The same on YouTube. I'm starting to put the podcast on Spotify as of this year, so look up Beneath the Hood on Spotify, and very soon you'll see a whole bunch of episodes on there. So that's where you can find me.
Oh, perfect. Well, I'm excited to see what you bring in 2026. I'm excited to see where we can take Rally of the Creed this year as well.
Yeah.
So I just want to say a massive thank you, and I'll see you all soon. Good night.
Right. Good night, everyone. Take care.
Yeah.
Thanks, James.